Hi, everybody. How are you? This is Babbitt from B&B New Beginnings with an In the Meantime share. First of all, happy Mother's Day. Hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful day yesterday. I did. I had a great weekend. It was just fabulous. Anyway, I have some thoughts I want to impart and share with you. And I hope they resonate with somebody out there. I thought, you know what? It's been on my heart and my mind to share this. And this phrase has been, God, every day it's getting louder. And the phrase is, it's time, it's time, it's time. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, it's time. And for me, it's time for me to move to get this project that I'm going to share with you in a minute. It's time for me to make it happen, you know. I don't know what it's time for you to do, but that's the phrase that has been swirling in my mind for the last several days, probably the last week, and it just is getting louder and bigger. So whatever it's time for you to do, I humbly suggest that you get to it, like me. So I have this project that I've been working on for about, I'd say a little over a year. Now, usually when I take on a project, I see it already done in my mind. And it's a matter of process, going through it, right? Excuse me. For years, I would sabotage my own self. Why? Because when you struggle with trauma and disappointment and drama for a good part of your life, it's kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop, even when things go great. So I really had to teach myself to take the old recording out of my head and replace it with something a bit more healthy. And I did that many years ago. However, from time to time, I slip back, fall off the wagon, call it whatever you want. And I go back into that headspace. So this particular project caused me to do that. Why? Because I think it's awesome. I think it's wonderful. And I think it's going to help me and it's going to help lots of people. And so the positive outcome of it all is scary for me. I'm very afraid of it. And so because of that, I sabotaged and started thinking these weird negative thoughts, you know. And when you start to think negatively, especially when you're positive, and I always try to walk on the positive side of things. But like I said, every so often I fall back. My bad. No biggie. I'm going to work at it as I am. So anyway, I thought, oh no, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? So the resolution was for me to really focus on prayer with this particular issue. So I'm praying to God, and praying to God for me is, you know, just talking to him like I'm talking to you. I'm telling him what the issue is, asking him for help to heal that part of me so I can just stop it and not do that, so that I can move this project forward like he wants me to do, because this has to do with my work. And he, of course, orders my steps, and I listen. So I'm telling him, I'm having this great conversation with him, you know. And then after that, I meditate. And I prayed specifically on this issue for several days. Not that I don't pray for everything and anything else that I'm always constantly praying. But this, I really honed in on it. And after I did, I started to meditate, because for me, meditating, that's how I get my clarity and downloads and the answers that are waiting for me, right? And sure enough, just like clockwork, I got the clarity, I got the answers. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. It's time. And I'm very happy that I'm moving forward once again instead of being stagnant. So, you know, if you have that kind of a struggle with yourself, my resolution is to pray and meditate. And if that's your resolution, great. And if it's not, try it and see. Just talk to God. Ask him for what you need. Ask him to guide your steps. And somehow he's going to give you the answer, whether you meditate or not. Maybe it's you'll be in conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden, in that conversation, you'll get an answer. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I'm just sharing how it works for me. And I'm sharing this because I hope that it'll inspire you to move forward, because it's time. It's time. It's time. I know it's time for me, and I'm doing a thing. So hopefully you will too. And I pulled 3 oracle cards. One is empathy, courage, and forgiveness. All the things that we need. To be an empath, which I'm an intense empath. I care sometimes too much, and I have to balance it out, But empathy is really worthy. It's a really worthy characteristic to have. And this is the card, empathy. And what the card says is, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. And in order to resolve anything, you have to have an open mind to resolve the situation. Even if it's, looking at yourself, taking accountability, understanding how you got to that place and that time so that you can correct it. Being kind and empathetic toward yourself, because it takes a lot of gentleness and a lot of kindness. Sometimes we don't like to look at our issues. We don't like to think that we're nothing other than, in the right place at the right time, and we're not doing anything negative or wrong. And it's not true. If things are not flowing smoothly the way we want, right? I mean, I have to look at myself all the time. I try to take accountability for every single thing that I'm doing. Doesn't make me perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I just want to learn, understand, and continue to stretch my spiritual muscles. So to have empathy is so, so, so incredibly important. And it just isn't empathy for self. It's empathy for others. And then there's forgiveness. Forgiveness, yeah? And forgiveness says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Sometimes we don't know how to forgive ourselves when we should. That's part of being empathetic, forgiving yourself for the missteps, the mistakes that are actually lessons, right? You could argue or debate that there are no mistakes, but you've got to be gentle and kind and forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive people that may have hurt you, whether the hurt was intentional or unintentional. Every time you heal a part of yourself from trauma, disagreements, whatever, every time you do that, you create more space to attract your blessings that are tagged with your name. Every time you heal from a trauma, an argument, anything like that, you're creating more space to breathe out and to receive good. Remember that. So it takes empathy, forgiveness, and also courage. There's the courage card. And courage says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I really am. But I didn't create this fear. It's a conditioning that I've gotten from many, many years ago. I'm much better at it. I'm more positive. I'm stronger. But do I experience fear? You bet. But when I do, I have to take a hard look at it and say, what? What is that? Why am I being fearful? Makes no sense. Come on now. I got to, work at this. And work at it I do. And I always move forward with the fear. Sometimes I have funny conversations and I go, so what do you want now? Sit down. Let's talk. And that eases that for me. So I hope this made sense for somebody out there and resonates with you. And again, I wish each and every one of you, I wish that you all had a wonderful Mother's Day, because being a mother is very special, but it is probably one of the most intense, incredible, and difficult jobs on this earth. And we all deserve to be kind and wonderful to ourselves, yeah? So once again, I say happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you out there, okay? And everybody be inspired. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. And in the meantime, bye-bye for now.